Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel today for another review. Terrell and I were going to be reviewing the new film Project Wolf Hunting, which made its world premiere at Toronto International Film Festival, then had its American premiere at Fantastic Fest 2022, and will be available on demand and digital soon. So just keep an eye out for it. It did release in Korea, sometimes South Korea, sometimes last year. And this has just been a film that everyone's talking about. I'm starting off by saying, before we even talk about what the film is about, that like I'm as a big consumer of Korean cinema, that this is a film that like when I knew I wanted to check it out, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into. And I think there's going to still be folks that come and watch this film and going to be so mind blown about how crazy this film is that for whatever reason, I'm just going to sit back and say like, well, it's a South Korean film, you know, what did you think? So with that being said, I had a really good time with this film for a lot of reasons. Got a lot of notes about it. This is certainly one you want to keep your eyes peeled for. It will be available on demand digital very soon. I'm seeing that there's going to be another release date, October 7th. Either way, just keep your eye out for it. Project Wolf Hunting is going to be a film that everyone's going to talk about. I think there's going to be tons of clips that will go viral from it because of certain particular moments of this film. But this is what I feel is North Korean films at its best. Also with a mixture of the Philippines in it. Because of actors and because of, you know, obviously what the story is about. So I think this is a really good film. If you're looking to kind of step outside of just traditional American film, looking at some international films that's dealing with, I say in terms of genres, I say like there's certainly a horror aspect to it, like like in subgenre, I would say haunted house. And then there's a very good aspect of crime and drugs. And then there's also come on, South Korea. Of course, there's a good mixture of martial arts in this as well too. Right. And so you're getting a bunch of different things that I feel like, you know, when you're looking at a North Korean film, a South Korean film, a Korean film, that you're just going, you know what you're getting yourself into, and this checked all the boxes for me. So I enjoyed this film. Real quick before we get into it, just want to talk about what this film is about, and it's very simple. This is about a ship that is taking criminals from the Philippines to South Korea, and that just seems very simple. Of course it's not, because you think that the criminals are just going to sit on this ship and just let things go down. Like you, and beyond that, there's a little bit of there's always some corruption involved. There's some inner workings, there's some outer workings, and it seems to just be something that's going from one place to the next, because this is the means of transporting criminals, you know, until there's a third player in the game that really shakes everything up, which also is circled around other secrets and whatnot. So a lot of different things kind of go on in this 2-hour film, but nonetheless, it from top to bottom is a brutal. That being said, Terrell, what you thought about the film?
Yeah, this is one of those movies where like I watched the trailer and I don't even think that prepares you for what you're actually going to get in the movie. This was, if I had to summarize, this is the Korean Battle Royal, because like someone introduced that movie to me and I didn't know what it was going into it, going blind. I feel like this is going to be the new movie that you put on for your friends and family. Like, hey, check this out. Don't say nothing to them. Just start watching it, because the movie appears to be something like starting off and then it just goes completely left. Like you said, it starts off like, okay, this is just a simple crime drama. Okay, you know, we just go deal with cops and, you know, criminals, right? No, that's it goes deeper beyond that. And the stuff that Korean movies are allowed to show is just beyond ridiculous. I think this would never ever get its debut at no movie theater in the U.S. I don't think. Like it's going to get protest day one. This is one of those movies like I'd be surprised, like I said, if like you say, gets a U.S. digital release without any edits, without any edits or anything like that. But the movie surprised me. It's been it was a couple times in the movie where I'm like, man, I gotta get up. This is a little too much. this is too much. Like, all right, let me step away from this, come back and finish it. But overall, it was a really, really good movie. The twists and turns in it was unpredictable. I didn't know where it was going, what was going on. Like you said, it was a horror element to it. Like, man, okay, like when they introduce certain characters or certain things, you don't know what it is. I'm like, okay, is this gonna be like a Resident Evil type joint, or like what is it? But like overall, it was really, really good movie. Definitely worth the rewatch.
Yeah, one thing I want to correct in what you said is that, like, I definitely feel that, when we do get Korean films and series released in the US, there's always the idea of, like, will it be modern? And they kind of stepped away from that from times ago, where we used to get like the watered down version of things.
Oh yeah.
So but I think now when we with like the growth in popularity in series like Squid Games, and I don't know what else I don't know what else that was really trending for everybody, but there's been tons of stuff that I can say has been like really, really popular. But I mean, I guess you can say like the Raid, or like we can say the Train to Busan, stuff like that. I think that it's very sure and certain that there is an American audience that want to see this for what it is. Right. And if you have not been exposed to Korean films and series, then like you're gonna walk into a rude awakening, because it is, by all means that we're saying, completely gory. All of the budget in this film goes towards the blood. I can ensure that.
It's a lot of cleanup on set.
It is. It's ruthless. Anybody can get, which is one of my favorite things about Korean films, is that like it does not segregate on who can get killed from whoever it may be.
No plot armor here. No favorite characters.
yeah, that's another thing in this film. Like, characters you may want to get invested into. Okay, good luck. They will not make it. And to your point, you will be able to check this out. I looked it up really quickly. In America, October 7th, in select theaters. Then another week is going to be in theaters October 14th, and then October 7th also in Canada, as Well Go USA Entertainment is handling the American distribution of this, or should I say the North American distribution of this. So when you check it out, for what we've seen, you're going to see the same thing. Like, believe that. Now, I will say this, like, so much blood, so much gore, and it's just so much brutality. It's so intense. And like you said, it's really hard to not look away, because there's some scenes you're just like, oh no, I know they're not going to do that. And it just goes overkill. And I think that with this film being about a bunch of criminals trying to, come together to make a jailbreak on this vessel to kind of gain control of it, so that, whatever their plans may be, I think it's certain to kind of look at certain characters and say, well, that's clearly the biggest badass in the room. That's clearly going to be our antagonist here. Then you kind of look at the cops and authorities like, well, that's probably our protagonist, until just all the rules are off the table. And then you're just like, well, at this point, you pick a side and you'll just be okay with that, because it's really a conflict in morals all over the board here. And then, like I said, because now I have to go a little bit more specifically into things here, there is a third party in this now. So, right, you can say good guys versus bad guys, or vice versa, depending on how you want to look at it. And then there's another person that comes in and just wreaks shit on everything. Everybody can get it. Good guys, bad guys. And then that's the other really interesting element into this, because you start to wonder, well, what's this whole individual's like motivation, and who's safe? And then you start to wonder, like, yo, is anybody not safe? Like, there's a monster that comes into this, and this monster is a game changer. If everything you've seen so far was brutal, just hold your hold your beer for a second, because this comes in and now shifts up everything. And then with that, we truly do get the haunted house subgenre in horror, where you got a monster on the loose, where it's all about who is going to survive. I mean, we're talking about Michael Myers times 10. Jason on steroids. Put them both together. make them Super Saiyan. Like it's just that presence of a character, and you want to know what is the character's motivation, who's safe from the character, and then after a while you just start to say like, all right, well that was a pretty brutal killing on that last person. Like what are they going to do next? And yeah, then he just outdoes himself in the last performance.
I think the only courtesy the movie does for certain characters is like how they die. Like is it going to just be like a regular kill and you just off screen, or is it just going to be completely ridiculous? Like like you don't want to be the guy to get his body broken half or nothing like that. But yeah, you, like you say, once the monster comes into play, you think, okay, this is the part where the cops and they're going to work together. Right now, it's still none of that camaraderie, like none of that stuff like that. Everything's off the table. Like you said, anybody can get it. You know, if you had your chips on anybody, you might as well just leave. There's no point. Like
the house wins on this one. You know,
house always wins.
That the house definitely cooked the books on this one, because like it's not even a fair game. But yeah, with that too, like there's all sorts of weapons involved, so there's so many bloody, gruesome killings involved. And I mean, like the hour mark is really where things really goes into overdrive, and then you could almost say overkill with things. But with that too, this monster, you know, like an enhanced ass kicking machine. And it's just, you know, at one point, as they said, inmates versus authorities, and you got this third party that comes in. And if you're kind of wondering like why the film is called Project Wolf Hunting, because the monster has sort of qualities of a wolf, like an alpha wolf at that. And that's
I'm thinking to myself like, okay, this is like, all right, what if your boy Steve Rogers got loose and it had extra powers on the ship type thing, you know what I mean?
Put it this way, this was Superman once he regained his conscience when he was revived in Justice League, and he was just like, oh well, what did I see here? Anybody and everybody in my way is going to get it. It's sort of like that, you know. Yeah, so that's kind of how that comes about with that. But with that being said, just to kind of get more details about the film, the practical stuff I thought was really insane. There wasn't too much CGI until like the last final scene was super CGI heavy, and this was kind of like, you at this point now you're already just at the end of the film where you're just seeing so much really good practical stuff. You just really excuse this last scene of CGI that I think is really bad. And then I think the final act is just really good. Like the film progresses and crescendos so well, but I kept wondering like, how could the next scene be better than the previous? And it just kept outdoing itself, and the final act certainly brought it all home. And then, you know, when I start again revisiting the idea of the horror aspect of it, you do follow another interesting trope with a slasher where you have the final girl, and yeah, it kind of does that too. So with that being said too, like the fights were good with like the stunts, the guns, the hand-to-hand combat, the gore, the special effects folks definitely got their money's worth, because for every killing you had to kind of look at something afterwards, and all of them were done very uniquely different and very good. And then after a while, you at the end of the film, you're just like, whew, that was a ride. And that's kind of how I felt after. It's like, man, I love this film. I need to own it, but man, that was something. It was something. Do not watch this with your kids.
Yeah, you need a cartoon or something to watch after to clean your palate. Something light.
It's too rough. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, anything else you kind of want to add in terms of the film? I know I talked a lot on this.
Yeah, man. I mean, shout out to, you know, the people that whatever boat they was allowed to use to destroy, because they was just wrecking like every room, like the doors, the elevator, everything on the ship, man. I don't know if that was something that they just made or that was like a legit ship they filmed on. It had to be. Yeah. And, shout out to the people that had to clean out the blood. It was just, I mean, it must have been a swimming pool, like a Six Flags swimming pool worth of blood in this movie. Like, Jesus Christ, like, it was a lot, man. Like, but like you said, I mean, the movie is completely unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. You can't put your money on no character. Anybody is liable to get it. I can't even count the body count I literally lost count after like 5. I literally don't know how many people was on the ship. Let's just say a lot.
Yeah.
Just like I say, this is the worst time to take a vacation to South Korea from the Philippines. Yeah, but good movie. Like I said, definitely worth the buy.
Yeah, or don't get in any type of authority troubles with any of these nations, because if this happens to be your commute to Korea, you're probably going to regret any crime that you did. But in all seriousness, though, I love how this film does want to get you invested into characters, both whether you deem them to be good guys or bad guys. It certainly will pull the chair from under you, so be prepared for that. But folks, yeah, keep an eye out for Project Wolf Hunting. It's going to be in theaters October 7th. Then you can expect a digital on-demand release sometime after that. Certainly go see this in theaters. It's worth it. I
could imagine the reaction from the crowd. I could imagine that's gonna be awesome.
And it's been getting nothing but good ratings and reactions from everybody that's checked it out so far at the film festivals that it has shown at, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. So check it out, support it. Project Wolf Hunting. Jump in the comments, let us know your thoughts about it when you do, and as always, stay tuned for more reviews.